Hey Magic Makers, Mombierella here. TerrorFest was a frightfully fun event. If you missed it, you should definitely come next year. But till then, check out this panel with Paul Taylor, Becoming Pinhead. Hope you enjoy.
People are so mean online, and super fans of icons are going to be super critical, and that's fine.
Yeah,
I'm super critical of
well, while you're
things I love.
Yeah, while you're researching the role, what are some of the things that make Pinhead? Is there certain
Stillness.
aspects?
There's a stillness and an intelligence, and a British accent always helps, of course, because the original, I had to do that. The stillness of him is what is the most menacing thing, and he's not he's not a slasher. He speaks eloquently, tells you exactly why he's there and what he's going to do. And in some of the Hellraiser scripts, which are not as good, maybe he says some stupid things, but which are just like one-liners and parting shots, which are not eloquent, but that just depends on everybody. But so that's why what matters is the intelligence and the stillness. The menacing quality comes from, you don't know, he looks like that. He looks like what he looks like, so you don't have to do anything to be scary. But what you cannot do is make him too big. Then he's not scary.
Right.
If he's, I'm scary. Welcome. Not that anyone's ever. If he's trying to be, if he's Freddy Krueger, he's not scary.
Right.
Freddy Krueger is scary, but that's exactly what a lot of those movies, like the third Hellraiser film, the Weinsteins suddenly own the franchise, and they're like, you know what I want? I don't like psychosexual material, so why'd you buy Hellraiser? To make money, so we're going to make him the next Freddy Krueger. So give him some punchlines. And suddenly Pinhead is funny.
Right.
And it's like, well, some people love that. Some people, the third movie is their favorite one, and that's fine. It's the one that's easiest to license because it was the most expensive movie, and you can make more toys from it. I know that for sure. But anyway, yeah. The other reason that Gary Tunnicliffe, who wrote and directed and starred as the auditor in Hellraiser Judgment, wrote it is because he wanted it to be Doug Bradley's last hurrah as Pinhead, because he hated Doug's last line in his last Hellraiser movie, which was, "How's that for a wake-up call?" And he wanted to write him some better dialogue. That's in the 8th movie, right?
Yeah.
And so what makes it good Pinhead? Stillness. You look like that. You don't have to do anything. So that when you do move, it's like, what's he going to do?
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
And also, he works telekinetically, so he doesn't have to. He has these weapons, but he never uses any of them except that one movie where he chopped a guy's head off. Now, I don't know what that has to do with S&M, but he did chop a guy's head off in a basement, I remember. I don't know which one it is. I don't know, it's one of them. I watched all the Hellraiser movies when I got to part, because I'm like, I gotta watch all of them. Okay, let's watch all of them. See what Doug Bradley did. And so we can honor what came before us. But then at a certain point, Gary said, we just agreed that it was time to stop doing that, because here's the script that you're gonna do. And this is a Pinhead from a different time. Your costume's different. You're still the same flavor of Pinhead, but you're a different actor with, you're older, you're more jaded, you're bored perhaps with what's going on in your existence, but you really get to do your thing at the end of the movie. I love those last 15 minutes. Then it was just time for me to use my own actor thing, whatever the process is for an actor. And mine is never, it just depends on the role. But, I mean, people were like, are you a method actor? Heath Ledger was a method actor, you know?
Heath Ledger is dead.
I know, exactly my point. It's like method actor, it depends on the role, you know? But what it is, it's a personal thing, and you take the character, you take the words on the page, and whatever you need to do to make you say those as a convincing human being or demon or whatever. That's all you really need to worry about. So, and some of it is just fun to do. The work of being an actor is just fun. So it's like you're playing pretend in your head the whole time. So that may be all the research you have to do, or preparation, but what I did to become Pinhead, well, that's the name of my panel, isn't it?
It is.
Becoming Pinhead, I just remembered, I came up with that. Becoming Pinhead. I'm glad that you're asking these questions that have to do with the title.
Yeah, that's brilliant. So we can talk about Sin City.
I was living in a scary, I already did.
I know.
I was living in a scary neighborhood in Dallas. I don't know if y'all know Dallas, but it was South Dallas, and it was bad place where I paid $500 a month for many, many years. And that was really sweet, because it was a 3-bedroom house, but in a, kind of a scary neighborhood, which I would never take walks in at night. So I'm like, I'm going to dress all in black and wear my combat boots, and I'm going to take walks at night, because I want to have no fear. No fear. And that's all I was really working on, because Pinhead has no fear whatsoever. He's arrogant, and seriously nothing can harm him, except as we learn in Judgment, God's involved. Oh, God can punish him in big ways. So yeah, that's, oh yeah, what I was talking about, what Gary and I agreed on was it was time for me to possibly, he suggested that backtrack. When I was first in LA to get my head cast done so they could do the makeup and met Gary for the first time, he showed me this scene from Star Wars. And it's Moff Tarkin, and he's talking to Princess Leia, and they're on the Death Star, are they? And they're looking at the 2 planets, and one of them belongs to Princess Leia. It was her hometown. Hutchinson, Kansas. And he's like, I'm going to destroy one of those. Which one should it be? And I don't remember exactly the conversation, but eventually he, destroys one. Kill that one. And she steps forward and goes, no. And he just very simply says, you're far too trusting. And Gary stopped it and said, there, that's your Pinhead. And I'm like, oh, okay. Just like how Peter Cushing just said, you're far too trusting. Okay, you like that. So, because it's just so nonchalant, that beautiful British accent that Peter Cushing had in all his movies. And also I think that Doug Bradley loves Peter Cushing. I think that's also where Gary got that. It's like, be Peter Cushing for me. So that was the shorthand that Gary and I had on set. If I was being a little too big with something, or and we were doing take after take, we didn't normally do a bunch of takes, except when I tried to get the smoke come out of my mouth. That's another story. Oh my God, that was horrible. But he would just say, just throw it away. And right before he'd say places, everyone. Right before he'd say action, I would just say, you're far too trusting. Action, and then we'd go. And it was like, and it really, really worked. But that was only one thing that he suggested. He also was like, let's come up with some iconic, still quiet villains that you can watch in their films and see, like Ralph Fiennes from Schindler's List, and Hannibal Lecter, and those kind of guys. And just watch those, and just sort of, get that in you somehow. It's so weird talking about acting, because it's not magic. It's just anyone can do it. It's just your imagination. That's all you do. You're trying to get that some sort of, I can go there and I feel comfortable there, and action, and then you do it. Do you want to hear about the smoke?
Yeah. You guys want to hear about the smoke?
Yeah.
See, Gary wanted, I don't know if it's in every single movie that Doug Bradley did, but he did 8 of them, and in the first, in Wilt Terrier Soul Apart, classic line from the first movie. It's the second one. It's the first one, right? The steam, I guess it's supposed to, I don't know if it's supposed to look like it's cold, and it's frost coming out of him, or if it's supposed to look like smoke. But Doug was a smoker, and he has a cigarette, like it's a close-up, he's like saying, we'll tear your soul apart. And the spittle flies out, just like that. But so the smoke comes out beautifully. So Gary was like, we need to have that on one of your lines. So it's going to be on your first big entrance at the end of the movie, and it's going to be on Evil Seeks Evil. So I have this line, Evil Seeks Evil, that right after all, Evil Seeks Evil. And I'm like, well, Gary, I've good news. I've been smoking, not only to make my voice lower, but also so that we can get that easily, so we can just get it and move on. So he's like, oh, that's great, I appreciate that. So we'll do that. Some crew guy's like, I have a vape here, you could just use the vape. I'm like, that's a good idea. I actually thought it was a good idea if it didn't have nicotine in it. It was like, well, Gary didn't like the idea. He's like, it won't look right. I'm like, okay, that's fine. I have a cigarette. Right here. Evil seeks evil. Couldn't see it, couldn't. Nothing. Deeper. More smoke. Evil seeks evil. Nothing. Can't see anything. I do it for so long that Gary can see through my fake skin of my makeup that I need to take a break. I had a nicotine overdose. I'd never had a nicotine overdose in my life. I had to leave. My neck thing is up to here. I can't breathe. I'm freaking out. The nicotine has just made me insane. And I had to go outside to get some air. They had to move on. It was so, and then we came back to that scene 2 days later. Like, okay, we're just gonna get it real fast. Let's do a pickup right now, real fast. Just a close-up of the Evil Seeks Evil. Here's a guy, his cherry vape, has no nicotine or anything in it. We'll just use that instead. I'm like, okay, good. Because I haven't smoked since, well, actually I have smoked since then, but never mind. We don't learn from our mistakes. So I do the vape, and Evil Seeks Evil. And it comes out beautifully. It's like, yeah, we should have done that from the beginning. So we do 1 to 2 takes. It's like, it's done.
Pinhead vapes canonically.
Yeah, exactly. But I see that movie and nothing comes out. I'm like, all that time. And I had a nicotine overdose. And there's also the other thing it affected, and I wish Gary hadn't told me this. But he told me this, there are 2 things about your performance I don't like. And the one is that when you sit forward, you look down to see your spike mark so that you know where to stand for the scene. I'm like, oh, yeah, I did do that. Okay. It doesn't bother me when I watch it. I'm like, and it looks down for a second. Who cares? So anyway, but the other thing was, and then I wanted to get a close-up of, and when the auditor steps up to the guy, the star of the movie, the human star, steps up to him to say, we're going to tell you, we're going to do this. And then I just like push him aside, and then I step up to him, and I'm like, the filth of your confession was so blah, blah, blah. That's where the first close-up of Pinhead is supposed to happen. There's no close-up. And the music builds up to it, and then it's like, the scripty, when we went back to shoot, it's because we'd moved on, because of the nicotine overdose. And the scripty later was like, yeah, we got that, we're good. So you see the movie, and that, it doesn't break my heart anymore. But the first time I watched it after he told me that, I was like, God, it's ruined. Because it just goes to a shot of 2 different characters that I'm talking about in my speech. Scripty, stupid, smoke, stupid.
I'm going to ask the stupid question, why not use VFX in post? I understand that.
I don't know. I'm taking a little break. No, I'm not taking a break. Because I felt like I got a little bogged down in my head, and you guys saw a little too much of the real Paul Taylor there. I don't know why they didn't do that.
You could put some dry ice in your mouth. Don't do that, actually.
It's like, I think it's because I don't think that ever would have happened on a Gary Tunnicliffe set, because he's so interested in practical effects, and the budget on this movie was minimal, and the only CGI in that whole movie is fixing the female cop's face after she got hit in the face with a gun in the scene where she gets hit in the face with the gun, and that's the only. But that's CGI. That's CGI for good. That's just like she still has a scar. Yeah, and that was like on her first day of shooting.
So welcome to set.
Yeah, I've seen her since on other sets because she lives in Oklahoma now, and she's a little tiny scar. She's like, yeah, I would have sued them. I would have sued the Weinsteins, but they said I was going to be in the next Hellraiser movie.
Oh, wow.
And I'm like, funny, they told me the same thing. And then, you know, Weinsteins. We know the story of the Weinsteins, right? I don't need to go into the Me Too movement and all the reasons I never did Judgment, a sequel to Judgment. I won't, I just covered it right there. We're good. We're good. We're good.
Well, you kind of touched on, you know, the haters online and all that jazz.
Yeah.
But did you get any feedback from Doug himself?
I did.
No?
I don't know if I want to talk about the first time I heard from Doug. Well, now I brought it up. I have to.
People want to know, man.
No, but when I met Doug in person, he was lovely, and he actually, I went to, it was the 30th anniversary of Hellraiser, and we were at Texas Frightmare, and so they brought me in, they had Doug, Clive Barker, 3 of the original Cenobites. It was so cool. Great weekend. And, but the night before it started, Doug and the 3 Cenobites were introducing a screening of the original Hellraiser at one of those movie theaters where you buy food and beer. It's Brew House, the Brew House.
Like a draft house?
Chain. Yeah, Draft House. Cinema. Why do I now have to think of the name of that?
Alamo Draft House.
Alamo Draft House, thank you. So I'm there with my friend, filmmaker Joe Manco, who wrote and directed The Torturer, that is a short film I'm in, that hopefully gets made into a feature someday.
I said plug.
Well, it's possible now. I mean, it's been out for a few years, but from the news that he has been coming up with on social media, it's like, really? Those people want to maybe do a feature of that? Okay. Can I play the torturer now instead of the tortured? That was a rough shoot. Anyway, I really am not, I have not lost track of what I was talking about. I know it sounds like I did. But yeah, so we were at the theater, I was with Joe, and we were there, and we met them in the bar, and then they went down to like introduce the movie, and then they left, because they'd seen the movie before. So I'm sitting there, and I had a question. They had a Q&A, and I raised my hand, and I knew that Clive and Doug had a theater company. They were pals. They were friends in grade school. They went to grammar school, and then in England somewhere, and then they had a theater company, Wolf Theater. And Doug starred in almost all of Clive's plays, and then so it just went, you know, when he started making movies, then Doug was like, which part do you want in this movie? I'll play the guy who works for the movie company. Oh, wait, no, I'll play Pinhead. Yeah, because if the movie sucks, no one will recognize me, it'll be fine. That's why you took the time to do that.
Yeah.
So anyway, I meet them, and then I'm sitting there, I raise my hand, and I say, if someone was going to do one Clive Barker play, which is the play that you would say they should do? And Doug is like, does everyone know who's asking the question? And I'm like, oh, that's not why I asked the question. And he goes, this is Paul T. Taylor. And he said, he's your new Pinhead.
Oh, wow.
That is gracious.
No.
That is like so publicly gracious, you know.
Yeah.
I said publicly.
Yes.
But so he did not have to do that at all, you know. So the whole weekend was very, very cool. It's funny though, because it's funny, because a month before that happened, his partner, who lives within, I don't know, Idaho, I don't know where they live. I don't remember Pittsburgh. They live in they have a house in America somewhere, in Middle America. And because Doug, and there was a feud sort of between Gary and Doug. And it had to do with signing it. The reason he didn't do the movie, he didn't want to sign this ridiculous, I don't know, I didn't see it. NDA, thank you. DNA. NDA, so that's why he never read the script, that's why he never did the movie. They had a whole public, sniping each other, and I was kind of not caught in the middle, and I was kind of caught in the middle, but I wasn't part of it, And so Doug's partner, had contacted me to say, can we just like basically have a conversation since we're going to be at the same convention and just sort of like clear the air and just so everyone can be cool. I'm like, okay, great. Yeah, I do want to tell this story. Okay, this is the first time I ever heard from Doug Bradley. This is terrible, but I'm going to tell it anyway because I'm no threat to him whatsoever. I was at Chiller Theater, and I, as I said, was always a huge Hellraiser fan. I also collected Living Dead dolls for 20 years. So when the Pinhead Living Dead doll came out, the creators of Living Dead dolls knew who I was already because I had won the Halloween costume contests. I'm such a nerd. A horror nerd. So, okay. So they sent me a case of Living Dead doll, Pinhead Living Dead dolls for free, you know, and also the big action figures of Pinhead. So I'm like, another Pinhead here, man, for free. So I had bobbleheads that were my own property. I had action figures that were my own property. I had my own puzzle box that I put together from gluing together the pieces of the puzzle box that you would get from the action figure packages and all this stuff. So I paid for extra luggage to bring it all up to Chiller Theater. It's all set out on my table. I'm like, everything's for sale, you know. My agent gets a text from Doug Bradley, who apparently, you know, he's well connected with Chiller Theater. He has many friends and fans who are walking around the Chiller Theater. It's a huge convention. He's been a guest many times over the years, and someone took a picture of my table and apparently sent it to Doug, and he told my agent that I needed to be removed from the convention for misrepresenting who I was. And I'm like, I can't believe I'm telling a room full of people this, but this is what happened. This is what happened. And I'm like, I was so new to the whole thing. I felt terrible. I was so sorry. I was super apologetic. I said, please tell Doug I'm so sorry. And of course the agent was like, well, I can remove you from the convention. It's ridiculous. But I said, I took all the things that were licensed to, not my movie, but some other Hellraiser movie. I took them all off the table. I said, I'm so sorry. I will never do that again. And, you know, it was fine. But that's the first time I ever heard about Doug. So it's evolved over the years so that now we're friends. But it was like, but now I just go, I'm no threat.
Yeah.
I'm no threat to Doug Bradley. And I guess he felt threatened by that. And I'm like, you know, that's okay. I forgive him. I think he probably doesn't care anymore. He doesn't care. And yes, I do have Pinhead Living Dead dolls and pops here today. So if you want to buy one,
we're all upstairs.
Licensed to Hellraiser 3, which I'm not in. And also, I have puzzle boxes that are licensed to Hellraiser Inferno, which I'm not in. But they're puzzle boxes! It's Pinhead! Now I feel like backpedaling. Why did I tell you that story? What?
Could you get them signed by Pinhead, or would that like be a weird copyright thing?
No, I sign them. Now, I mean, if somebody comes up to me with a poster from the original Hellraiser movie, with a big old picture of Doug, I'm like, I'm not in this movie. If you want me to sign Paul Taylor of Hellraiser Judgment, sure, I'll do that. But I'm gonna have to write that on there because I'm not gonna.
Yeah, that's a
No,
little.
that's truly crooked.
Yeah,
Truly crooked.
Does anybody have any questions? Any questions?
How long would that take, that process take?
Is that you? Yes, Anna?
Yeah.
Oh,
Gotta cut these.
are you throwing your voice? You just not move your mouth when you talk.
Not much, sorry.
It was, all told, it was probably about 2 hours.
Wow.
Well, yeah.
It wasn't bad. The guy who was doing it was trying to break a record, but he was trying to break Gary Tunnicliffe's record, which was impossible because Gary did Pinhead's makeup, did Doug Bradley's makeup, I don't even know how many times, but he could get him from the chair to the set in, you know, an hour. Because he was just so good at it and had done it so much. But the guy who applied mine, Mike Miasmer, was a sweet guy. But he smoked, so he'd take smoking breaks, and I'd be like, "I'll take a smoke break with you. I'm in practice. I'm in a big scene." And so, but he did hit the timer because he wanted to break that record. I'm like, just don't give me a crooked lip, okay? Just take your time.
Now, was it all in like separate pieces with the pins already in
It's
it?
too large. It does have the pins already in it, and it's like, the pins are very lightweight plastic, which are made especially for the makeup. Because if they had any weight, they would flop, and it would kill the illusion. And it's two large pieces. One, and it's foam latex, which is made exact to fit me, because it's what the head cast is all about. The only thing not covered is around the ears and around the eyes. The pieces are up over the brow, and then over the ears, and then the other pieces under the brow and below the ears. And it's like basically fake skin. It's like that right there at its thickest.
Oh, wow.
And then the pins are already attached to it. So, and the lower lip is a separate piece, 3 pieces. So you just walk in and there's like 3, I was only on set 3 days, so 3 sets of Pinhead makeup, because once it's used, it's ruined. After they take it off, it's ruined. They can't use it again. And they just start gluing. And if a pin is crooked, they just like pop it off and put glue on there and re-glue it.
You're only on set for 3 days for that movie?
Yeah.
Really?
It
So
was
those
a
are long days.
$350,000 movie. That's nothing.
No.
Solo budget.
Oh, it looks great.
And with the
It
money
does.
he had, he made it look so good.
It looks awesome.
Because some of the budgets on those first movies are just millions of dollars. It's
Yeah.
like, but his heart, he put his heart and soul into that movie. He didn't get a director's fee. He got a director's fee, but it all went into building the sets and the props. And the reason there's topless women in the movie is budgetary, strictly, because he was like, it's cheaper to have boobs than to have Cenobites. So we just won't build Cenobite costumes for these people. And many people will enjoy that.
We're ready for movies.
Yeah,
Is anybody else have a question?
Other than, you said you're a big Hellraiser fan, other than the obvious 3, what's your favorite Hellraiser?
Oh, there's a judgment. Number 10. No, number 1 is my favorite. Oh, other than the 3?
Other than number 3, since
Number 1 is like by far. And what I love about Pinhead in that one is he's such a mystery. Now, he hasn't been explained at all, and that's what I love about it. It's like with these horror, if they don't explain it in the first movie, then they feel obligated to provide backstory in the second movie, or or whatever. And it's like sometimes it loses the mystery. And what was so cool about Pinhead in the first one was that first entrance, he seems so sad. He just seems like this lost soul, which is kind of exactly what he is. He's not necessarily sad, though. I don't know if he is, but he seems to have this sadness, and you're just like, what is that? The first time I ever saw Hellraiser was just like, what is that? And they want to know more. That's why he became the star of Hellraiser.
Kind of a related question. What's your favorite Cenobite other than Pinhead?
Angelique. She's the one, she's only in the 4th movie, and she's the one with the skin that's pulled down, and then the wires attached from here to her shoulders. And she was poised, she's the princess of hell, or she was poised, the princess of the Leviathan? I'm not sure what her title is, but she was poised to be the CEO. The CFO, I don't know. She's poised to be the new lead Cenobite, but instead they killed her in the movie, and I'm like, she's so cool. And Gary said that was Gary's first Hellraiser movie. That's when she first started making the puzzle boxes. That's being a puppeteer, by the way. That's what that meant. And this is online. This is puppets.
That's news.
This is making the puzzle boxes.
Well, what do you have coming up, man? Anything coming up?
Yeah. I am, on Tuesday, I'm auditioning for a stage production of Misery, Stephen King.
Wow.
Yeah, I want to play that guy so bad. The play it's kind of like Misery Light. It's not, you can't do the movie.
Haunted.
And you can't do the book, because on stage you're limited, but, and still, she doesn't chop off his foot like she does in the movie. I mean, in the book. In the book, she chops off his foot. In the movie, she breaks his ankle. I mean, still the same. Anyway, it's Misery Light, but still, I just want to play that guy. You know? It's like, what's that? So I'm working on that right now. I have a callback for it on Tuesday. So But also, I just shot a horror comedy, completely just with friends, like a let's shoot a movie on the weekend thing, but it was with Hannah Fierman, who's in VHS, and she's in, what's the other big one? Many horror fans know she is, but I can't remember right now what else she's done, but we met at a convention, I love her. So she has this boyfriend, Drew, who's a musician, he wrote this movie, and and I get to play this crazy doctor who's worked on infectious diseases and corpses for 30 years because he knows the secret of where these monsters are actually, and where the killings are actually coming from, besides the crime boss who lives in this town of Bunker Heights. The movie's called Bunker Heights, but there's been no publicity about it because they're just like, there's a strike going on. Shut up. There's a strike going on, and this was completely like just whatever. We're just gonna shoot a movie, okay?
Right.
Like practically no budget. I'm like, great, fun, because the script was fun. So I got to play this crazy guy and do comedy, even though it's a horror movie with a monster, and it's not like murder and rape. It's a monster, which is much more fun for me, because I'm tired of the movie I did before that. I was playing an incestuous rapey dad, and I'm like, I really don't want to play that. I don't consider murder and rape entertaining, and so, but when there's a monster involved, I don't know, it makes it like it could never happen, that kind of thing.
Versus real life.
It makes it, because real life is horror, and that's the truly horrors. Human beings are the monsters, and it's like, oh man.
Oh, man,
Fortunately, at the end of, we had to change the title of this other one. It was called A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, which is a great title. Unfortunately, it's also the title of like a young audience's series of books, which is being turned into a series.
Oh, really?
And so this guy who said he'd trademarked the title as a film, still had to change it. Maybe he was lying, I don't know, but he changed it to Broken Innocence, and I'm like, that's a terrible title. It's not like a Lifetime movie. It's a terrible title. He didn't take my advice and call it Killy Lily because she's been raped by her dad.
That would have been even worse though, I'm going to be real
Since
with
she
you.
was 12. I think it's a great title.
It's
That
not-
she turns into this homicidal girl,
Right.
and she's killing any man who comes near her. And then at the end, of course, guess what happens to Daddy? And call it Killy Lily, my God! But he didn't take my advice. And there's some other stuff that I just signed up to do shoot a movie in LA at the end of November. It's going to be a sci-fi, and I'm the alien. I'm a lead, and I'm an alien. It's going to be like a full silicone.
Oh wow, right on.
Like a reptilian silicone mask. That's going to be fun. It's just going to be like, I bring it up. This guy's French. He's a great accent. Massimiliano Sergi. He just does movie after movie after movie after movie. He's got a formula, and I was like, cool. Count me in as one of your guys. I'm fine. I'm good with this. And I met him last week. I met a guy named John Ozuna, and he, in the original Matrix movie, the shot where the fists are hitting so fast, that's him, and it's not even sped up. He has the world record for making contact more than anyone else in a minute or something. So that's him. So I met him at this convention. He's like, Max wants your information. I'm like, give him my information. So suddenly 2 days later, I'm talking to Max, and then that day during the conversation, I'm like, yeah, I'll do your movie. It's like, I'll pay you this much. I'm like, that's great, $2,000. I mean, I didn't say that out loud. That's not what I meant to say. For a week of work, and I'm like, that's not much money, but I don't care.
Right.
I don't care.
It'll be fun.
It'll be fun. And I'll be in his group, and we'll just shoot movie after movie after movie, and some of them will be good, and some of them might not be, and I don't care. I just want to work.
Yeah. As long as you're having fun, right?
Exactly. And I'm not union. I'm not in SAG, and someday maybe I will be, but it hasn't been necessary yet. So I'm in a right-to-work state, SAG eligible for years, but I'm like, I don't have to join. It's So I'm not scabbing, thank God. I wouldn't scab, but I'm not sad. No.
Right on, man. Well, we'll look at Bunker Heights.
Yeah, when it comes out, I
Yeah.
can show you the poster.
Yeah, right on. Posters are fun.
Yeah, yeah. I could even show you some footage, but I don't know if I should do that. I'm not gonna do that.
What mama don't.
Because it's all secret. Well, you know what? Come to my table if you want to see the poster, because I don't know where it is.
Yeah, right on. Yeah, no worries, man.
It's upstairs.
Yeah.
It's right upstairs. Yeah.
Oh yeah, upstairs, back quarter, man. We gotta get ready for the next panel,
right.
so please give it up. Paul Taylor, ladies and gentlemen.
Don't repeat anything I said.
Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Make sure to come back for more from TerrorFest. Hit the thumbs up, subscribe, ring that notification bell, comment down below, share with a friend. And remember, let it go and keep moving forward. Love you guys. See you next time. Have a magical day. Bye.